What's up, guys? Today is Friday, I think November 3rd. I'm driving my 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 AT4X, a mouthful by the way, to my 40-foot fifth wheel on a 230-mile trip to Moab. I am super excited. I have not gone camping this year. We have a small RV we have been renting out, and it has kept us busy, so we haven't been able to go camping, and I wanted it to be available in the event that I had to pick it up or something like that. So in this video, you're gonna see fuel mileage. Now what I did was I reset trip 1, right? So we're gonna take note of all the mileage for this trip, and what I'll do is I'll show you guys the DEF usage. So I pretty much topped off diesel and DEF this morning, and I wanted to really give you guys an idea of how efficient this truck is towing a 40-foot fifth wheel. Now, it's about 12.4, but right now it's probably a few hundred pounds heavier because I have a bunch of my gear in there, and I have a few things inside the truck, but I throw everything in the RV because it's a 3/4 ton. If I have a chance in this video, I don't know yet, I may get it weighed, but before you see this video, you'll probably see me get it weighed with my family, because I might save this video for a little bit, because this is going to be good for fuel mileage. Now, so far, I am following someone to Moab, and I'm trying not to get too close because I don't want his draft, because that'll be misleading for fuel economy. So
in 2 miles, take exit 2.
But yeah, I don't want to follow him too close because, again, his draft will help me get better fuel economy. But I want to give you guys real world fuel mileage without that. So right now we're doing great. The trip is saying we're doing pretty darn good. I'll show you guys that in a second. But yeah, DEF, diesel, you'll see the miles per gallon for both. So you don't want to miss this video. I will show you guys everything at the end. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure your bell notifications are on. Really quickly, I love this truck. This has been my favorite truck so far. I really like my white gas truck. I really did, and I was really thinking about either putting a supercharger in it or maybe doing a diesel swap. And if had I done that, I think I would have never sold that truck either. But this one here, right out of the box, it's the best one I've owned, even over my Ram. I wish it was a 1-ton, but it's okay. You know, I've said in a video that, you know, towing a fifth wheel with this truck would not probably be a good idea. Now, I know a lot of guys are Mr. Macho in the comment section, and I get it. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm giving you my real world perspective. I've driven GMC Sierra 2500 with my fifth wheel. You can go back, find the video. I towed it with my fifth wheel with my wife and my kids. And what I found about that truck was it was bouncy, and because of the bounce, I felt like the side-to-side motion was pretty like cringy. So I feel as though with this truck having a taller ride height, you know, more aggressive tires geared more towards off-road, I came to that conclusion probably too soon without even testing it. But I was right. This truck handles as I would have expected it to. It's not as secure. Even my gas truck, which weighed probably 600 pounds less, or probably more than that, less than this truck, I felt like performed slightly better. And it's because it was a lower ride height, and that truck was more geared towards towing. And it was a 3500, so keep that in mind. You cannot get the AT4X in the 3500. That was a big mistake on GM's part. I think they could have sold way more trucks. I mean, I would have seen more of these trucks on the road in that 1-ton platform versus this one, because you are limited on the payload, and I will show you that all in this video. So let's go ahead and switch the camera. I'm going to show you guys some of the towing features in this truck. So you guys can pretty much see that transmission at 165. It is 54 degrees, 10 a.m. to be exact. I forgot to set up my tire pressure monitoring system for the trailer. Also, when you turn the signal on, you see that? It shows you people in your blind spot. I love that they do that. It's a really nice feature to have. The turn signal stock does turn, I think, 6 or 7 times here. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6. So it just doubles up. So normally it's just 3, but they give you 3 extra ones since you're towing a trailer. Now your blind spot monitoring does still work with the truck. I'm actually shocked that it does. But yeah, this is a 40-foot fifth wheel, but figure about 5 feet of that is over the truck. Well, maybe not 5 feet, maybe like 4 feet. So yeah, I did not extend my mirrors yet because the one on the driver's side is still broken. I completely forgot about it. And when I get back home, I'm gonna get it fixed. But yeah, the mirrors do work pretty darn good when they are extended out. They don't give you that power convex, and when no one's riding with you, you know, you're kind of limited to what you can do with it. That's why I love Ram trucks. I think Ram trucks are still the best towing trucks on the market. I don't care what anyone says. It's just fact. I'm just being honest here. I've towed with a lot of different trucks, and I just think that they just have the better setup for towing. Now, this truck here is the best all-around truck, in my opinion. I think that the type of features that they give you, it's just bar none. I mean, they pretty much came first in market for a lot of different things. And don't get me wrong, Ford Super Duty is the most powerful truck. It has probably the most versatile towing truck too, especially with them fixing that exhaust brake. I have the exhaust brake on in this truck and tow haul mode. There's something happening every once in a while, but as I've said in the past, it's very intermittent. You have to really be going down a steep grade for it to really kick on, and you have to kind of hit those brakes. With Ram and Ford, they do kind of come on every time you take your foot off the gas. And there's 2 modes to it versus the 1 mode for this one. So yeah, all they need is a dual stage exhaust brake where it comes on every time you lift off the gas, kind of like what Ford and Ram does. And I think that GM will really be a hard truck to beat. I think already, this is a hard 3/4 ton truck to beat right here. I mean, if you're looking to tow a toy hauler travel trailer, oh man, this is your truck right here. Oh my goodness, this is the best truck I've ever owned. I really do love the way it rides. It has a sporty feel on the road when I'm just cruising. And even with the trailer, I feel as though the dampening from the shocks, I mean, it's a lot better than what I felt from the Rancho shocks on a 2500 Denali that I tested a long time ago. I think it was like a 2020 Denali, and I towed my 5th wheel with it. Now, I will admit, back then my trailer was probably 2,000 pounds heavier, and that could have affected the pin weight a little bit more. So it's probably like maybe 300 or 400 pounds more than what I have now. So it's not a huge difference, but that trailer was definitely heavier. Currently I have my dynamic or adaptive cruise control, that's what they call it. I don't normally use this for towing, and the reason why is because I don't know if that system knows how heavy my trailer is and how much braking it needs to stop the truck. Now, obviously you can add a huge gap between, actually, you know what, it's so, you know, oh, gap adjust towing. See, you learn something new every day. Let me show that to you really quickly. See, I spoke too soon, so let me show this to you. So here it is. When you adjust the gap, you see it says towing. So I wonder if they set parameters for your trailer somehow. That way, you know, you can either have a larger gap with that, or they adjust the braking for the truck and trailer. That's pretty cool. I had no idea that it even existed because I never used adaptive cruise control even on my white truck because I was too afraid, because I didn't really like the way it felt, because sometimes it would hit the brakes at the last minute and it was, yeah, it was a little weird. But this truck seems to be a little bit better. But that is really nice that they already have those parameters set in there for towing. I don't know if it's from the 7-pin or tow haul mode, or maybe just a combination of both that it actually adds that in there. I guess I could turn tow haul mode off for a second and see. So if I turn tow haul mode off, let's see if it, so it does still say towing, so it's probably because of the 7-pin connector. Here's some wide open throttle. We're going to probably like a 4% grade right now. Yeah, this Gen 2 L5P has no shortage of power. If you had the high output power stroke, it'd probably be about 2 or 3 mile an hour faster towing this close to 13,000 pound trailer. But it wouldn't be like miles ahead, because when you put something under load like this, I don't care what it is, it's gonna struggle getting up a mountain. So, something else I want to show you guys. Love this. I'm actually shocked that this doesn't go away. Like in the past on my Ram, after about 5 to 10 seconds, this screen would just go away. But I like that they allow it to stay up because you can really see all your gear, make sure it's still there, make sure it's not shifted, and I like that. I should have showed you guys a fuel economy before I went up these grades. Now I'm at 9 MPG. I was about 10.5 on the highway. Now that was doing about 65 to 70 miles an hour. It's saying I'm averaging 47, but when I left the gas station this morning and I was sitting in traffic a few places, yeah, that's why the miles per hour is a little bit lower. But so far I haven't dropped really below 55 on this road here. And I'll check back in a little bit. We're at 9 MPG, 51 miles driven so far. Now we just dropped below 9 because we're just going up and up and up and up and up right now. And if I do see some grades where we go down, I'll show that to you. But yeah, these are some beautiful views. I gotta show this to you guys. Wow. This is a 3 to 5% descent. So I turned off the cruise control because I wanted to see what would happen if I just allowed it to coast. And right now the speed's just kind of going up here. I'm gonna tap the brakes. There we go. There's a downshift. And I think the exhaust brake. There it is. So it's at 2,700 RPMs. It's working good now. So when it does come on, it's strong. And like right now, I just hit the accelerator and now I took my foot off. It's still holding it for me. I'm at 51 miles an hour. Now the guy in front of me has a Ram. I'm sure he's in paradise right now going down this grade here. But yeah, that's the thing about the GMs. They just have to make this exhaust brake come on every time you lift off the gas. Like, give it a dual stage exhaust brake. And if they do that, I mean, this would be a way better truck for guys who do a lot of towing, because I don't like to use my brakes. I like the brakes to stay nice and available for me when I absolutely need them. Not every, you know, few seconds I'm tapping the brakes or holding them going down to the grade towing 13,000 pounds. But so far so good. I think that this is still, you know, one of my favorite trucks in terms of just all around pickup. So I think we're gonna go ahead and top off. Normally I would try to go as far as I could, guys, but you know, when you're out here in remote areas, you just want to just get fuel when you can. So I'm gonna go ahead and top off for diesel, and I'll probably just leave the DEF for when we get back home. But so I don't forget, we drove 116.1 miles, averaged 9.3 MPG. Now let's see what we fill up at. All right, so let's top off at 11.260. And with this, you gotta be really careful. It's a high flow pump. Here we go. All right, that's good. So we are at 11.822. I pretty much made it back home, and I decided to show you guys all the fill-ups on the spreadsheet here. I do have photos of the odometer and the pump, that way you guys can see that in the video. So the first fill-up, we drove 116 miles. I purchased 11.8 gallons of diesel at $53.19. The computer is showing I got 9.3. The pump is showing 9.8. Now that's a 0.5 variance between the pump and the computer. I've said this for a while now. Ever since I had my 2019 Ram, I feel as though the manufacturers have been really dialing in the computers for the MPG. So when I do my tests, as I've said before, I feel like they're pretty accurate. Now, I will admit, I was probably about 50 feet behind the guy I was following. There's a few times where I kind of got close because he got caught behind a car, so I was just behind him. But for the most part, when I was traveling, I try to maintain about 50 feet away from him when I had that opportunity. Now, the second fill up, we were going a little bit faster. We were going up a little bit of grades. We did purchase $114 because this was
part of the trip to our destination and then part of the trip on the way back. So we did buy 25.3, 25.4 rounded off gallons of diesel, and we drove 242 miles. Now my computer was saying we were averaging 9.2 MPG. The pump said 9.5, so that's a 0.4 difference. And I'm actually, again, really shocked that the AT4X could get anywhere in the 9s because the truck is lifted and it has more aggressive tires. So this truck is doing pretty darn good for fuel economy with towing. And if you don't know this, diesels get better with time. So here's the final fill up. This is pretty much when I got home. So we pretty much stopped at the same fuel station on the way home that we stopped at on the way to our destination. So pretty much $54.12 was spent on 12.5 gallons of diesel. We drove 115.9 miles and we averaged 8.6. Now, once we got back to the highway, I was doing 80 miles an hour, and that's pretty much where my fuel economy started to drop. So figure this, on the way home, I was driving about 80 miles an hour. So 5 miles an hour difference makes the difference between this and this. So just keep that in mind. So here's what the pump says, here's the computer says, and then here's the difference. So I'm willing to bet you that the new turbo, the new combustion that they did with the Gen 2 L5P is probably why the truck is getting better fuel economy. Because in the past, when I was towing our fifth wheel with our 2023 AT4, I barely could get 9 MPG on similar routes. Now this is the last one here. This is for DEF. We purchased 1.2 gallons basically at $4.83. We drove 474 miles and we averaged 407 miles to the gallon. So even when you're towing, this truck has a 7-gallon DEF tank. So I mean, you can get pretty far. I mean, granted, you're not going to allow the DEF tank to run too low, and plus the truck won't let you. But you can get pretty far on that DEF towing, about 12,500 pounds. But one thing you have to understand is this. This Gen 2 L5P Duramax is probably one of the best diesels on the market right now. And it's almost as good as that Cummins. Like, I got to admit, like, I have a little bit of that Cummins fanboy, that Ram fanboy in me a little bit. But this GMC, guys, this AT4X is just my favorite. Like, I enjoy driving this truck. Like, it feels perfect. Like, I love a lifted HD, and this truck has the power, the transmission is confident, and I like how this transmission hangs out in 9th gear. I was kind of, checking it out, and it was hanging out in 9th gear a few times, and it's not a busy transmission, which I love. We did decide on a trailer. We looked at a few more RVs. The Alliance is a nice one, but we had to look at some other ones. And my wife, she's been really kind of like wanting to get something smaller since we don't live in them full time. And I do have my dually up for sale, and that's kind of why we decided to sell it, because originally I wanted a 45-foot toy hauler, because in a couple years I wanted to save up and get a side-by-side, but my wife decided, nope, I'm not doing that. So I kind of agree with her. It would be kind of cool to get some time in a travel trailer, because I'm totally against travel trailers. And yeah, I think that the AT4X is a better fit with this trailer we're looking at. It's not as heavy as, well, it's nowhere near as heavy as our fifth wheel, but it's still going to be pretty heavy when we add our stuff in it. So yeah, the AT4X can definitely tow the fifth wheel. We'd be fine with it, but I like to kind of have margin when I tow. So cheers to the future. And yeah, you guys get my impressions on, can you make the change from a fifth wheel to a travel trailer? Because believe it or not, they're all expensive right now. Like, I think travel trailers are about the same price as fifth wheels, but travel trailers have made big strides these last couple years, and I've been noticing it too. So we'll probably do a couple more reviews on some RVs that we are looking at, and we should unveil what we're getting next week. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and yeah, let me know your thoughts. Like, if you would like to see other content too. Like, I try to do as much as I can. I try to stick within trucks, but I want to kind of do some more SUV content too. I haven't told you guys yet, but we did put in we put a deposit for a GX550 for my wife. We love our Wagoneer, but I think my wife, she likes Toyota in that ballpark, and because the Land Cruiser that they're coming out with doesn't have a third row seat, she decided to get the GX. So I don't know if I'll post anything on that. We'll see. I did go to Lex Dealership and do some videos, so you will see some more content there. So yeah, be sure to be on the lookout. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss a upload. See you guys soon.